Okay, page 603. This is the homework question for lesson number 10, rate of change. And it's a bit more complicated, so I wanted to just do it. And then if you were having trouble with the homework, you could watch this video. So here we go. Water is leaking out of the bottom of a barrel at a constant rate. After 3 minutes, the water level is 58 centimeters. And after 8 minutes, the water level is 23 centimeters. On a grid, plot ordered pairs for time and water level to graph this. So time would be my x. Okay, that's my my input, and that is in minutes. And on the y, my output, that would be the water level. So we can kind of think of that height from the bottom of the barrel. So I'll go WL for water level, and that's in centimeters. Okay, and then I need to put some ordered pairs. So I'm going to say 358. Let's put that one up there, label it. And 823, well, that would be obviously a lot lower. And we'll put that there. Okay, not a perfect sketch, but it doesn't need to be. I just kind of need to see, well, my rate of change is negative. Water is draining out of the bottom of this barrel. So as more time passes, the water level is going to drop. Okay, calculate the slope. All right, well, I've got x1, y1, that's my first point. x2, y2, that's my second point. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's my slope formula. In this case, 23 subtract 58 over 8 subtract 5, which gives me, and maybe I bust out my calculator, 23 subtract 58, negative 35, over 8 minus 5 would be 3. So that's a nice fraction. Maybe I'd want to actually turn that into a decimal, and it's not going to be super nice, but that's okay. Negative 11.666666, so 6 repeating. I've got a negative slope. That makes sense. My water level should be dropping. I'm going downwards. What does that represent in this graph? Well, that represents, okay, the centimeters per minute. How is that water level changing? So in this case, it's negative 11.6 centimeters per minute. I am losing height. Okay, the water level goes down. So as a statement, the water level is changing at a rate of negative 11.6 repeating centimeters per minute. I just said that. Or maybe instead of writing negative, I could say the word decreasing. All right. Next one says determine the equation to represent this information in that form where W represents the water level and T represents time in minutes. Okay, we did this. We've done this a couple times. What I'm going to say is, well, I know the M, so I can plug that in. And then what I'm trying to find is B. I'm trying to find this y-intercept. And I know a W and a T that work. I could pick 358. I could pick 823. But I'm going to pick those values. Okay, I'm going to pick those values of water level versus time and plug them in. So I'll pick the first one. Your water level is 58. Negative 11.6 repeating. Your time is 3 plus B. And I'm going to do the algebra and I'm going to solve for my y-intercept, finding that equation. All right. 11.6 repeating times 3. I go to my calculator. Luckily, my 11.6 repeating is stored in there, so I can just go times 3. If not, I would just type in a bunch of 6s till I filled my calculator screen. Oh, I get negative 35. 58 equals negative 35 plus your B value. And here's where the algebra starts. Add 35, that gets rid of there. What I do to one side, I do to the other. That would be 93 is equal to B. Okay, double check my math. Oops, 35 plus 58. Yeah, 93. Okay, awesome. Well, there you go. And then I'll just work over here. The equation, W, that's a variable, equals 11.6 repeating times T, that's a variable, plus the V value B value we just found is 93. Okay, so that's probably the hardest part of the question, is finding that equation. And now I'm ready to roll. So it now says, so that would have been kind of my theoretical y-intercept. How many minutes will the barrel be empty? Okay, so that's if this line continued, it's really asking you for your x-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this algebraically. Okay, and I'll do it down here so I have more work. The equation is this. And at this point, I could graph it on my calculator, and I know how to find x-intercepts with my calculator. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to find it algebraically. It's saying, right, that the water level equals 0. So I plug that in. And I can solve this algebraic question, right? So proceed like normal. Opposite of add 93, subtract 93. Negative 93 equals negative 11.6 repeating t. And I'll divide that negative 11.6. Okay, and I will get my answer. So here's where I go. Negative divided by negative is going to be positive, so I'm not going to bother typing those in. 93 divided by 11 point, and this is where just fill your screen with sixes. It's 6 repeating. I know it goes on forever. Just put a bunch of them. And I get this. 7.9714 equals t. Okay. It doesn't say what to round to the nearest whole minute. It would take 8 whole minutes before this thing is empty, but I know it actually happens a little bit faster. So I'm not sure what the book actually wants you to round to on that one. That's about 8 minutes. Okay, final question that I wanted you to do. What was the water level in the barrel when it started leaking? I actually know that answer already, right? That is when t is equal to 0, or we call that the y-intercept, which is your b value, okay? 0, 93. So what was the water level? W equals 93 centimeters. All right, that's your y-intercept. F, we found the x-intercept. G is asked for the y-intercept. But that's this. In y equals mx plus b, that's just the part sticking off on the end. So I already found that one. All right. And then h, I don't want you to do h. That has to do with kind of volume and some measurement stuff that we haven't done yet. So obviously we can't do those questions. So that was it for this one. I just wanted to go through and make sure I explained things just in case it was a bit tougher of a question. But with that, you should be able to finish the homework. And then we are rolling to review tomorrow and the summative assignment on Friday. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.